Okay, so hi, dear lovely people. This is Anju God, and you can call me Modern Sannyasini, Prem Sanyogita, Tarot Anjali, whatever you like. So, today we are going to talk about why we keep on attracting the same kind of partners again and again in our life, why this karmic cycle is there in love, and how to break this cycle and call in your divine counterpart or your soulmate, whatever you call it. It's like, have you ever felt like you always connect with people who are like same in their energy, same in their chaos and conflict, even if the person is different, even if their names are different, even if they're totally a different person, but somehow deep down the line they become the same person that you have the same kind of person that you have encountered before as well in your life. I'm going to tell you 10 powerful reasons why we keep on attracting the same kind of person in our life again and again and again. This is actually not the universe punishing us, but this is the universe kind of telling us to break the karmic cycle and heal it properly. Then you are going to be free. Okay. First is unhealed childhood wounds. If you're not treated properly in your childhood, if you're not loved properly, if you have abandonment issues and trust issues, you never felt loved, you never felt chosen, you are going to attract these kind of people again and again in your life subconsciously, hoping to feel loved by those people, hoping to feel that they are going to choose you, they are going to treat you right, but they end up treating you more badly, more hurtful and painful energies are there in that relationships also. So that's why every spiritual teacher, every spiritual person is going to tell you to heal your childhood wounds, because all your child wants, inner child wants, is to be seen, is to be loved correctly, and you keep on repeating the pattern because you don't understand that you need to break the cycle here. First reason is the unhealed childhood wounds. Second is the low self-worth patterns, in which you feel like you deserve this kind of love only. This is in your karma, this is your destiny. Nobody is going to love you like you deserve or like you want, because you are not worthy of love. You are not worthy of that kind of love. It's filmy. Yeah, it's something that only lucky people can get. So this low self-worth can also can also lead to you guys repeating the same cycle, the same pattern in love again and again and again. Low self-worth is also the second factor here. I have written all these things. Third is the past life karma. What is past life karma here is that you are going to feel a very intense connection, intense chemistry with somebody. You're going to feel home, feel like home with them. But as time passes, you got to understand that you are repeating the same cycle with this person also. Even if the connection feels intense, even if the connection feels like you guys are meant to be, this is a past life contract that you carried with this person, and you are bound to go through this chaos and pain, not again, not to get punished by the universe, but to get yourself healed properly, to release these kind of patterns. Okay, it's very difficult to heal them, but not impossible. That's why only, I think only 1 or 2% of people are courageous enough to heal these kind of wounds. Fourth is repetition, compulsion, addiction. Your brain, your nervous system gets addicted to the highs and lows of drama. When you are in peaceful environment, when you are like totally, let's say you are single for 1 year or so, and you are at peace, but then you feel like, okay, you should have somebody by your side, even if it is going to be a disaster again. You feel like you should have somebody by your side because your nervous system gets addicted to the drama. You can't be peaceful in peace, even you don't like the peace. Hmm? Fifth is fear of true intimacy. Yes, you want love, you want to be loved completely, but you are afraid to be truly seen. You are afraid that if you are going to be truly what you are and who you are, nobody is going to love you, right? So you keep on choosing emotionally unavailable people. It's safer than risking for the real thing. It's like you feel like safe, okay, you know the outcome, you are ready for the outcome, and you feel like, okay, this is what I deserve, and I don't want to open up to anybody just for the real thing, because the real thing never exists, doesn't exist. That kind of fear. Sixth is this keeps on repeating until you are going to learn your lessons. The universe keeps on repeating these kind of patterns so that you can learn your lesson properly, heal the situation properly, and break this cycle. This is a very conscious and aware decision that we have to take in order to let go of these kind of cycles from our life. So it's like lessons not learned are also going to attract these kind of partners, these kind of energies again and again in your life. Seventh is energetic cords still attached. When you haven't cut your energetic cords with the other person, with other people, toxic people, energy draining people, with partners that you know are not good for you, it keeps on coming back to you. If they don't physically come, the energy keeps on lingering around, and then within that energy, you attract other people like that. Until unless you are going to cleanse properly, cut the cords properly, detach properly, you are not going to feel the release, and you will not be able to attract the right person, right energy towards you. Okay. Eighth is ignoring your own intuition. Your intuition is definitely going to tell you at some point of time, especially to females, if somebody or someone is not right for you, is not good for you, is not meant for you. But if you ignore your intuition, you just go with the red flags, you just go with the flow, you feel like, okay, maybe this time it's different. That is also a factor that leads to attracting these kind of person, these kind of energies towards you. Ninth is a law of attraction, where even if we are not consciously manifesting anything, honey, we are always attracting few things in our life unconsciously. Our subconscious is working 24 into 7 all throughout the day, or while we are sleeping, everything. We never attract what we want. We always attract who we are as an energy. Okay, we are never going to attract what we want in the real, in the 3D world, until unless we become the frequency of what we want. So that's why you have a subconscious programming which says that you are unworthy in love, you deserve this kind of love. Okay, whatever love you are going to get in pieces and bits and pieces, you should grab it because this is only what you deserve. So these kind of energies are kind of coming to fruition because you have the subconscious programming in your mind, your limiting belief in your mind, that this is what it is, this is how it is going to be, and you are meant for this kind of love only. Yeah. 10th is when the universe wants you to awaken as a soul, the universe sends you this karmic kind of situations, not to punish you again, but to push or trigger your awakening. But as a human being, we have a free will, we have a conscious choice if we go ahead in that direction to, towards awakening, or we just like go down in the bitter energy of, oh, this is what I deserve, and this is my fate, and this is my destiny, I should not change it, this is my karma. We can break the karmic cycles as well if we are consciously working on that thing. That we can do. I learned it I learned a very hard lesson, but I now finally realized that we can heal and cleanse each and everything in our life, and we have a lot of soulmates for different phases of our life. Those who are stuck on astrology or maybe tarot or some kind of belief that astrology is the truth and this is in my karma, this is in my fate, bullshit. What I'm telling you guys is if you start healing, if you start going towards a different frequency, if you start going upwards rather than being stuck in these kind of energies, you are going to overcome the astrological facts as well. You're going to get better than what's written in your kundali, or what's there in the tarot reading predictions or something. Okay, tarot reading is not for predictions. First of all, it is just a probability, it's just a possibility, it's just the current energy check-in of what's going on and what can happen. Again, you guys have a free will. Let's say, for example, somebody told you that you're going to have Raja Yoga, where you are bound to be a king or something, but if you are not going to do anything about it, where is the Raja Yoga? What happened to the Raj Yoga? I have seen a lot of people stuck in this energy of this. I have this in 8th house, I have this in first house, second house, third house. Please get out of this. I'm not saying astrology is wrong or right. What I'm saying is don't get so obsessed with astrology or tarot or anything that's telling you to keep you stuck. That's making you stuck on them, obsessed with them, possessed with them. Don't do that. With astrology, you can definitely check out your traits, check out what could be possible. Maybe you can check out like what's going to be your path in your life, but you can definitely change. Your destiny is not predestined or written. This is something that you can make and choose to do for yourself. You can make your destiny yourself. And trust me, the universe choose you to do what's best for you. All you have to do is listen to the universe. Can you see the glow on my face? Can you see how I have changed in the previous year from 2020 till 2025? I'm telling you guys, you can consciously change your energies. No tarot reading is matching with my energies anymore. Not even a single one on the whole internet. I myself, if I'm doing the reading for myself, I am just taking the messages and leaving it. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. I continuously watch like videos that helps me to for my awakening. These days I'm like reading this book, The Psychology of the Esoteric. I got my master with me. I'm going through a very hard process of awakening, very hard process of awakening, but I'm not giving up. Yeah, I'm showing up in every day for you guys on the channel Taro Anjali, and this channel also I'm going to keep alive, keep it going, because I know even if I'm going to help one person with this channel, my work is done here. I'm not here on this channel for money. That other channel is definitely my bread and butter. It used to be, but now that channel also become my passion, because I am consciously or subconsciously helping a lot of people to get out of the situations. See, I'm helping people evolve. The evolved souls can only understand what I'm trying to say to them. The only souls that are on their awakening path or healing path can only understand what I'm trying to say. Not everybody can understand me. Not everybody can understand my path. Not everybody can resonate with me and my messages. And that's completely fine. To get my messages, to get the clarity that I got, you guys need to awaken. You guys need to be mindful and aware. So this is what I am trying to say to you guys. You can definitely release these karmic cycles and call in your true soulmate. Now, I'm not saying if you start calling today and you are going to see your soulmate tomorrow. It's going to take maybe a lot of time. Maybe it's never going to happen. But this releasing the karmic pattern, you will fall in love with yourself so deeply that you might even not need a soulmate. About me, why am I single? Because I am still on my healing journey. I am still on this process of going through my own shifts, spiritual shifts. Once I'm going to be calm with myself, once I'm going to be ready, like totally ready to be with somebody else, I will definitely have a soulmate by my side. I know that. He's like around me only. He's around energetically, he's around me. I can feel his energies. But I don't feel the desperation, the urge, the depression to be with somebody. That's the difference here. I'm just working on myself. I'm working on my healings, my mental, emotional health, and physical health too. And I know I'm going to, when the divine timing is going to align with me, with him and me, we both are going to meet in the 3D world. And even if not, I am happy. I'm much more content than what I used to be. And I really don't feel like I should be with someone until unless I really feel like I am ready to give with all of my heart and soul. My cups are filled, all my traumas are gone, everything is healed. I am still in the process, even after 10 years. Yeah. So, how to do that? How to release the karmic cycles and call in your true soulmate or divine counterpart? That's going to happen in the divine timing, by the way. Till that point, keep on healing. Forgive your past. Forgiveness, not for them, not for anybody else, not to show to anybody. Yeah, I forgive them. From your heart and soul. Okay? Forgiveness is the first part, first, you can say, step that's going to help you to break these karmic cycles. Forgiveness is very important. That's why I focus so much on Ho'oponopono. It's forgiveness, it's acceptance, it's love, it's compassion. Beautiful. Then cutting cords, energetic cords. All you have to do is you can visualize in your third eye chakra that you're cutting your cords with the person that is no longer serving your higher purposes. You can do it every day with multiple people, with one person, with a lot of people. That's completely up to you. I'm going to make a video on cord cutting as well in the coming future, very soon. But cord cutting is also a very powerful thing that you can do from your side in order to break these karmic cycles. Do your inner work, not for a person but for your own peace. Do your inner work means lot of healing, inner child healing, okay, past wounds, past life karmas. Okay, you can choose to start with simple seven chakra meditations. You can choose to start with Reiki healing. You can hire a spiritual person, a spiritual healer, or a mentor who can guide you on the path. You can start with simple Ho'oponopono. There are multiple ways that you can start your inner work. Some people are going to, get a you know to get onto this path of shadow work. Some people like gentle Reiki. Some people like Ho'oponopono. It's up to you. It's up to you. Inner work is not nothing like a rocket science or something. Inner work is just starting the healing, being aware of what you have to heal, starting it. Hmm? Don't start with the ancestral healing at the first. Don't start with the family constellation at first. Start with gentle things, slow and steady. And once you're going to start your healing, let's say, for example, you started with Ho'oponopono, like 10 minutes of Ho'oponopono daily, it will guide you intuitively to the next step. Wait for your intuition to answer. Wait for your intuition to open up and tell you the next step. Hmm? Then create space for your healing. You have to be open, to be emotionally vulnerable, to be mentally clear to the person, to the situation, to the thing, whatever you are like connecting to, in order to heal yourself. Opening up and clearing the space and making the space is very, very important. That you have to do consciously. You have to cut the cords. You have to detach yourself from people, situation, and thing. It might be friendships also. It's not always romantic love. It might be friendships. It might be like colleagues in your work area, job area, toxic partners in your career area. Same kind of repetitive cycle. It can be in any area of your life, actually, right? Raise your vibrations. Raising your vibrations is the simple like the same thing as we do for the inner healing. Once you start raising your vibrations consciously, like setting boundaries, learning to say no, and learning to understand the concept of self love and self worth, your vibration will start raising naturally and organically. That you can do. So these are the things. And most of all, the most important thing, you have to work on your self concept, where you are madly in love with yourself. You have to convince yourself that you deserve the kind of love that you saw in films only, or that you felt like, okay, it doesn't have to do anything with the reality or something. It does. This kind of love exists. Soulmates exist. Divine counterparts exist. You have to call in that energy by being in your most powerful energy, that is self love, self care, self healing, self worth. Self concept is, or basically like all these things are basically the same. Again, a lot of people twist some words to make money only, and to create some kind of hype on internet. But these are the same things. Yeah. So for me, what I did: Ho'oponopono, Reiki healing, Lama Fera healing, past life sessions. I did Osho meditative therapies. Osho meditative therapies, No Mind, Mystique Rose, Osho meditations, Osho speeches. This is what I'm doing these days. Mix and match of all these things. And the most important thing that I never, never, never forget to do even a single day is Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono plus Osho meditation. One of the meditations, whatever I feel like doing. And seven chakra meditation. So your soulmate is not found through searching. You will never be able to find the soulmate unless you're going to raise to the vibration of that soulmate. You're always going to end up in a karmic cycle. I have seen a lot of people sulking, crying, my God, I feel so lonely. I need somebody who can help me. Then two people become lonely together because they are not together because of love. They are together maybe because of trauma, maybe because they are tired of finding love, and they are like their convenient bond. Why are you so scared of being lonely? Until unless you are going to learn to live alone or go through this process of loneliness within yourself, you will never be able to find the correct person for yourself. Desperation, crying, sulking, making yourself a victim, feeling like, oh my God, this is my karma, why the universe keeps on punishing me, it's not going to help you, honey. That's why I keep on blocking those kind of people who are in the self victim mode, who are there, who are in the pity mode, and who are not able to understand the real value of their self love, their self worth. The person who can't love themselves, how can they love me or my channel? How can they be able to understand my messages? I am not here to pamper anybody's ass. I'm not here to, make myself look like a saint, because I'm not. I'm a normal human like you guys. But I'm definitely here to make you guys go through the uncomfortable truths of life so that you can do something about it. Work on this. I love those who can love themselves. I love those who can take care of themselves and who are ready to change their life to become the best version of themselves. So, this is today's topic. And suddenly I got the flashes that I am giving some kind of interview, or I am giving some kind of lecture somewhere. I don't know. And people are some people are getting really very happy, some people are getting pissed off, some people are calling me, oh my god, what a woman, some people are calling me bitch. I just got the flash of this. This is going to happen one day. I'm going to write it on paper for you guys someday. That is definitely going to happen. Yeah, it's not my ego, it's my confidence, it's myself, it's my inner self that knows that it's going to happen someday. And good to go. Bye bye, take care. May existence bless you with so much of love, with the courage to heal yourself. Namaste.